Alright everybody, let's talk about monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition looks just like a monopoly graph. The only difference is there are multiple firms in the industry, so your average total costs will vary along with how many firms are in the industry competing for resources. So let's talk about what this firm should look like. For monopolistic competition, you'll have your demand curve, which is set by what consumers are willing to buy at varying prices, and then you'll have the marginal cost for whatever the good is you're producing. So your marginal cost will, of course, swiftly decrease at the beginning and increase as you go. Then you have marginal revenue here. You have a divide between marginal revenue and demand because you have to charge each successive set of consumers less to get them to buy into your product. So your revenue decreases, and you really can't price discriminate in monopolistic competition. There is no scenario which a company like Wendy's or McDonald's could price discriminate. So while we're at it, let's review the definition of monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition is a type of competition where you have multiple firms in an industry and their products are somewhat differentiated. So the firms, say fast food, are all the same in the sense that they're all fast food, and in a pinch you'd eat one or the other. But they're also differentiated. So Wendy's has the Frosty and the Baconator, McDonald's has the Big Mac, Burger King the Whopper, and so on. So they're monopolistic in one aspect of their industry, but there are substitutes even if they aren't perfect substitutes. So the rub with monopolistic competition is how average total cost plays a role. Monopolistic competition has an equilibrium. Perfect competition has an equilibrium. Monopoly doesn't really have an equilibrium because there's only one producer, so wherever they're producing is basically at equilibrium for that point. So here on my ATC, I've marked the minimum, or what I'm calling the minimum, don't get too picky with me here, in green. And so ATC will always cross MC at its minimum, but the equilibrium is actually going to be the price chosen by the monopolistic competitor. So in order to find their price, monopolistic competitors, like every other type of competition, they produce where MC equals MR, which would be down here. They go up to find price. But in equilibrium, ATC is going to be equal to that, which means your profit, your economic profit that is going to be zero. No firms are entering or exiting the industry. That also means that if we're producing down here, and notice I'm following ATC's minimum along my ATC curve, along my MC curve. If we're producing down here, then we would be making this amount of profit. So let me highlight profit here for you. So we would be making profit from where our cost and our price are differentiated. That would be our profit. But what's going to happen is firms are going to leave the industry, firms are going to enter the industry, and that will raise costs up because there's more competition for resources until you reach equilibrium. Another thing to note about monopolistic competition and equilibrium is they are not productively efficient. Productive efficiency means that you produce where MC equals our ATC, which is at the minimum of the ATC curve. So if you're productively efficient, you are reaching the end of your economies of scale. Monopolistic competition, the firms could produce more at a cheaper price, but of course they choose not to because their goal is not being productively efficient. Their goal is maximizing their profit. Hope this helps.